TS and TL and the testing for Teres major. Okay? So, the Teres major muscle starts in the lower lateral border of the scapula and goes up and attaches to a wet spot on the humerus. Everybody knows this because we covered it yesterday quite thoroughly. Where?
Groove.
Intertubercular groove. What are the two muscles in the intertubercular groove?
The lats and the
Pectoralis major.
That's right, lats and pec major. What's the way to remember that?
Using a
Lady between two majors. Okay,
lady
good.
between two majors.
All right, aye, aye. Okay, great. Having fun in that valley there. A little threesome going on. I don't know. It's kind of... Okay, so the Teres major, we are doing internal rotation or external rotation? Internal rotation, okay. Everybody agrees with that. And nerve root was?
C6.
C6, okay, that's good. So now, if I'm going to check the strength of Teres major, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to have him, even though it could go a little bit farther in, I'm going to have him hold his arm so that the wrist is such that I could, if I wanted to, push it through. Because I want to try to break it. So you put it in that position where, just at the edge where I could if I wanted to push it through. And in fact, I'm going to try to push that through. I'm going to hold him here, stabilize the anterior portion of the shoulder. I'm going to have him hold his arm here, and I'm going to try to push it through and break the internal rotation of that muscle. Hold it as hard as you can, go. And in his case, let it go. It would, if it was weak, it would break through. Okay? Okay, so what are all the component movements of Teres majors? Anybody remember? Know them? Internal rotation is one. What's another one? Adduction. Adduction is another one. Extension is another one. Okay, great. So, what are the movements that we have to create, starting with extension, to lengthen it? Where do we have to put it? We have to put it into flexion, which is the opposite of extension. What's the opposite of that, of adduction?
Abduction.
Abduction, so we put it in abduction, and then bend the elbow. And what do we do now? A little bit
External
of
rotation.
Okay. So how do we test it then? I use my wrists to control the wrists, his wrists, which will also control the elbows. And I'll try to, I can't with my arm, I just can't do it anymore. I can't hold my arm up. This elbow, this shoulder doesn't work right anymore. So we'll basically do that. And what I'll do really is I'll do one individually against the other. So I'll come up here and I'll do this and I'll look at it, and then I'll grab the other one and I'll just try to remember, because it's hard. For me, it's hard to do both, but if you can do both, it's great. At the same time, okay? So it feels to me as if, let me see this one. No, they're not that much different. They're not too much different in his case. Now, how do we strengthen and how do we lengthen? Well, strengthening can also be done lying down on the stomach, or it can be done seated. So if it was going to be seated, it would just be exactly the opposite of the strength test. So what he would be doing is the opposite movement, which would be all the opposite movements of Teres major, which is external rotation mainly from here, okay? From this position. All right, so what do I do then? I actually contact latissimus, contact Teres major, push back a little bit, push backward to me. Oh, I can feel the muscle contracting. So what I'm going to do now, breathing, is go, and I'm simply breathing. I'm simply resisting the external rotation lightly and applying, let's get the marker on that. I think maybe that's a good idea. Make sure you mark this. It's easier for you to mark this once you can remember it. Now I'm going to use the thicker one.
That one's useful for volleyball players. Muscle très
Teres
utile si vous avez des joueurs de volleyball.
So we're going to that, hard to find your lower border, external border of the scapula. And we're going up into the, basically up into the armpit. Okay. Breathing, and go. So it's referred to, it almost looks like we're doing a little bit of lats, and we in fact are, more or less, because this muscle is also referred to as the little lat. The little lat. It's referred to, it's on the same angle. It basically is a synergist with latissimus dorsi, the little lat.
Lots.
Okay? If we're going to lengthen it, which one do I want to do that's easier for my own shoulder? Okay, this one's easier for my shoulder, so I'll do the right one. So what I'm going to do now, this is a little bit complex, okay? So you have to get this position. I'm going to do the crux of my elbow to his elbow, here, first, okay? Then I'm going to contact his hand, palm with my palm. And now I've got control of this, so I can take him into external rotation and flexion here, using my body, okay? And what he's going to try to do is he's going to try to come here. That's his movement. I'm going to use perpendicular contact so that he doesn't overpower me, breathing in. Now I've got his elbow in the crux of my anterior pec, really, breathing. Subclavicular, I go. That's contracting. And relax it, let it go, and then look at this. And this is a beautiful procedure for shoulders. Breathing. For pitchers, go. You want to get a baseball pitcher, getting way more. And relax. And it's just beautiful. Look at that, imagine that. And then if we add in all these other components that we can add. So it's a beautiful, really nice procedure. So that's a lot for you to think about, to digest. You got 4 different things to remember now. First of all, where is the muscle? Mark the muscle. You're going to do the strength test on the muscle. Okay, holding it here, trying to push it through, let it go. You're going to do the length test on the muscle up at the top. Okay, usually I'll bring my own elbow in and try and pull it out. I can't do this with my left arm anymore, so pretend I'm doing it with 2 arms. And if you can not manage to do it bilaterally, then do it individually. And then you're going to do your TS, breathing, coming through. Where am I? Oh, I'm way down here. Good. Breathing, coming through. And then you're going to do your TL up here. Breathing, and he's trying to come down and through.
Rotation, extension.
And relax. Okay? So those are all the things you're going to do now with that Teres major.